Are you worried about building a professional team to run your developments? My name is Ritchie Clapson. I'm a chartered structural engineer and I've been in the property industry now over 40 years. And in this episode, I'm going to tell you exactly how you can go out and build your own property development team. So building your team, it's a big concern. It's probably one of the biggest concerns that I get. People come to me and they say, yeah, but I've got to assemble this group of people. I don't know any. How can I put them together? Well, there's a few rules around this that you need to understand. And let me start with rule number one. And you need to make sure you've got this fixed firmly in your head. Property developers don't build houses. Property developers don't build homes. Their team do. So this is about the team that you're going to assemble. They're going to build this thing out for you. You are the developer. You are the CEO, the Chief Executive Officer. You are going to sit at the top of the tree and these people are going to build for you. It is one of the most highly leveraged business models there is. And that is important because what's more important than money? It's time. When I'm talking to people, it's time that's important. There's no problem going out and getting another business going, but does that business give you time? There's a lot of people that I hear in property that's got into HMOs, the houses of multiple occupation, or worse still, serviced apartments. I mean, you're running a hotel. Is that what you set out to do? Guests coming and going, whether that's leisure guests or working guests, it's running a hotel. It's often not that leverage. It's a business with noise, and I don't like businesses with noise. Property development is highly leveraged, and that is important. But of course, that's where the team comes in, and that's where the worry that people have is, how do I build that team? Look, the key thing is, there's around a couple of dozen of different types of professionals that you're going to need perhaps in each property journey. Some of those just for short bits of time, others throughout the whole duration of the project. The key people, architects, structural engineers, cost consultants, planning consultant, project manager is going to be with you all the way through. But there could be other people like maybe lighting consultants, maybe landscape consultants, maybe interior designers. Of course, you're going to have property lawyers, you're going to have accountants. There's a whole series of professionals that you're going to need throughout your project. The team has a big impact on your credibility. You don't have any credibility to start with. You've got to start somewhere. How does anyone start? It's about building this team and getting this team together. As a first-time developer, you need the experience of these property people to help you. And between them, if you think about it, if we've got a couple of dozen industry professionals, some key ones as I say, between them they've probably done thousands of developments. They've got centuries of experience between them. So all we've got to do to get credibility, to start that journey, is start to bring them onto our website. If you go out and you meet one industry professional and they're prepared to go onto your website as a preferred consultant, a preferred architect that you're going to use, you can use their experience. And if you build this up and you get a structural engineer and a project manager and so on, you end up building up your credibility on your website and very quickly attracting more and more consultants. You've only got to get one to start with. Get one in that initial setup. The key though, will they work for you? Will this one person work for you? Why would they want to work for you when you have got no track record? Well, the thing is, they only work for developers and they only work and get paid by developers. This is what consultants do. Now, a structural engineer doesn't just go and do structural engineering for the sake of it. They're going to do structural engineering for a developer. An architect is not going to do architecture just because they enjoy architecture. They're going to be commissioned on a project by a developer, whether that's a commercial project, a residential project, a private project. It's developers that are going to commission them. So they get paid for working with developers. So do you not think they're going to be interested to talk to developers? And professionals don't only want to work with experienced developers, because if they did, what would happen? They'd all die out. All those existing established developers would eventually, they die, literally, gone, finished. So as an industry professional, surely you can see that it's important that they've got to constantly look for new clients, because you are the client. You're the person that's going to pay them. So they're out there hunting always looking for new clients. I used to be an industry professional. I am a chartered structural engineer, and I used to head my own business, and we were constantly looking for new developers. We had marketing budgets to go out and entertain people like you, to go out and find developers. And we didn't mind. If they were brand new developers, maybe we'd proceed perhaps with a little bit of caution, but we wanted to talk to you because new developers are often ambitious and hungry for success. Some of the older developers, oh, we've done a couple of projects, we're going to have a year off, maybe we'll come back. That wasn't great for us as a business. So we were constantly looking for new developers. So we were out there looking for you, spending money marketing, spending money to wine and dine you. It's who's buying and who's selling is a really important factor. Look, professional fees, that's what we need to get paid. And they only get paid when we actually find a developer. And it doesn't matter, be honest, whether you as a developer are a complete fool. At the end of the day, if you're actually going to commission an industry professional, you're going to pay them. If you're a complete fool and you develop something that can't be sold, and you won't do that, will you? I'm sure you won't. Certainly if you follow this channel, you definitely won't. But ultimately, that doesn't matter. To the industry professionals, you're going to pay them to do their design. If you instruct them to go down a certain road, they might warn you, but you're still going to pay them. You're in charge. You're the developer. And at the end of the day, you take all the risk. Think about it. You're paying their fees. You're paying their wages, their office costs, their staff costs. That's what you do. Obviously, only as a consultant, you bring them in for your project, fixed price, lump sum, let them go again at the end of that project. But that's what you're doing. You know, whether you sell or don't sell, whether you sell for the profit that you're projecting or you don't sell for the profit you're projecting, or worse still, perhaps you made a loss, hopefully you don't, and again, follow this channel and you won't, then it doesn't matter to them. They're still going to get paid their fees. So they're still out there looking for you. Do you see that? You're taking all the risk. So here's a basic 5-step plan for building a team. First of all, you need a brand. Not a company, you need a brand. You need to create yourself a shop window, a name, a logo, a website. It doesn't have to have anything else on it. Remember I said we want to get one industry professional on there and then we get another and another. But to start with, we just need a website. We need this shop window. So come up with a brand. Don't overthink it. But just get yourself a brand, a name, a quick logo, form a website. What it is you're looking to do. I'm looking to get into permitted development right conversions or into commercial conversions. I'm looking to develop residential. What is it you're looking to do? In and around the Oxfordshire area, in and around the Birmingham area, wherever you're looking to do it. And that literally can be a little bit of a calling shot, where you are, what you do, who you are, a little bit of a bio. I'm transitioning into property development from being a buy-to-let landlord, or I'm transitioning in also running alongside my IT business. So first of all, you need a brand. That brand is your calling card. Number 2, you need this niche. As I say, you need to say what it is you're going to build, where you're going to build it, how big you are in terms of what it is you want to do. They're going to be interested in that as consultants. If we're out there, now my engineering consultancy that I run some years back, we're looking for big developers. We were looking for hotel developers. We're looking for big schemes. So you're trying to attract those industry professionals that's perhaps looking for you to develop the smaller schemes. So if you're developing between 5 and 20 units, make it clear on the type of projects you're doing. And again, as I say, if you're looking for commercial, conversion type projects, make it clear. Don't say anything that makes a profit. That doesn't describe what you're doing. And consultants are looking for certain clients. They're looking for certain developers that fit their model. So what you need is an architect that's looking for a developer that's doing the type of work that you're doing. It's no point you having an architect that's used to doing small schemes and you want to do big hotels, or vice versa. So get your niche and define your niche. Where you're going to do it, the size you're going to do it, and what type of projects. Number 3, you need to have this story. You need to tell what's going on. How have you got to here today? What's this journey been on? As I say, you're transitioning in from being a buy-to-let landlord. Maybe you've got a portfolio of HMOs and it's a logical next step to be a developer. What is this journey that you're on? Why are you doing it? What's your passion? What's your energy? What's your enthusiasm? What's your mission? People like that. They like to buy into people. People like people, don't they? And you want these people to buy into you. Although you're buying, they're selling, you want them to think this is a nice person to work with. At the end of the day, you're an entrepreneur. You're putting together an experienced team of people that's going to do this, that's going to deliver this. They know that. Every developer has to start somewhere. Don't try and present yourself as an experienced developer because you'll get caught out. It might be great as a shop window, it might be good as a website, it might be good as some branding, but the minute you have a phone call or a meeting, it's going to fall apart and then your credibility is gone. You don't have to. Present yourself as being new. Present yourself as transitioning into this business. And now your elevator pitch. Your elevator pitch is a quick, short introduction of who you are, what it is you're doing, and why you're doing it. So important to get that right because that is that first impression. Everyone says we make a first impression in 20, 30 seconds of someone talking. So if you can articulate that, yeah, I'm an ex-buy-to-let landlord, I've got a few HMOs, it's a natural progression for me to transition into property development where we're hopefully going to generate some big lumps of cash. I'm looking to develop in and around the Oxfordshire area. I'm looking to do between 5 and 20 units, and I'm primarily focusing on the conversion of existing commercial buildings. I also got an IT business that I run in the background, and I'm looking to put a team together now to start my development journey. Now, I don't know how long that was, but that's the type of thing. Have it nailed. Not too false, something that can flow, something that can adapt. And ultimately, be excited about it. As I say, have a story and be excited about that story. People want to work with enthusiastic, energetic people. They want to be excited as well. These industry professionals have a passion for being in the industry, and they want to see your passion to be a developer because that will work together. Now, number 4. Get recommendations for professionals because they're not all equal. Just because it says architect above the door doesn't mean to say it's a great architect. Network. Proactively get out there and network. Go out of your way to meet people. Tell them their story. Ask who they would recommend. So if you're out there, it doesn't matter whether you're in a property type networking or a business type networking. Property is a big area, and you'll often find even at a local business breakfast, you'll have someone that knows someone that's in property, someone that knows someone that's an architect, someone that knows someone that's a project manager, and ask for that recommendation. People don't tend to introduce you to people that they didn't have a good experience with. Yeah, I've worked with so-and-so architect, she's really, really good. Did a few schemes. Or a friend of mine worked with a structural engineer, and from what I know, he was very pleased. Get those introductions. Ask people who they would recommend and invest in those relationships. Invest in those relationships when you meet people. Don't just have a quick phone call. Take them for a coffee. Take them somewhere nice. Go to a nice hotel. Don't sit in Costa's or Starbucks when you've got all the mums and dads after school with all the prams and kids and running around. No, find a nice quality hotel. That's all you need. You don't need to have a meeting room. You don't need to have an office. You don't need to hire these things. Just a nice local quality hotel. Arrange to meet them there. Always got good coffee. So if you're a coffee drinker, or maybe they are. I'm not a coffee drinker, but I know when I meet people, they often are. Good hotels have good coffee or good cups of tea and some nice biscuits as well. That's always a good thing. And put that down on the table and have a nice meeting. Have a nice quiet chat. This is how I do business. Because people do business with people. If they enjoy your company and if they enjoy the environment that you create, they're going to want to work with you. That's how it's going to work. And if you want to find professionals out there and start making connections with them and you build those relationships in that way, they're going to give you some free advice. Because don't forget, as I said, as a structural engineer, I had a marketing budget. I was out there wanting to entertain. So the fact that you're entertaining them, it's quite likely they give you a little bit of upfront free advice. But please be prepared to pay for that advice once you want to engage with them. Number 5. Now this is important. This is something here at propertyCEO that we do, that we teach as a little bit of what I would call a bit of secret sauce. But many people take a while to get this. Certainly when I educate people and I work with people and I mentor people personally, they understand it. And they tell me this is the thing that makes a massive difference. It's get yourself a non-executive advisor. Get yourself a non-executive advisor, an NEA. What is an NEA? Well, an NEA is someone, they're not a director. Don't get confused. A lot of people will. A non-executive director. No. A director has legal responsibilities for the company. And bearing in mind, you're going to be a brand new developer when you start out, even 2 or 3 years in. You're quite new, you're quite fresh to this. They're going to come on board. If they were a director and you mess up, they've got legal responsibilities. So people generally aren't interested in that. A non-executive advisor has no legal responsibilities, but they're going to sit there and help guide and steer you. Now, what's the criteria? I always tell you, grey hair, no hair. Now, I qualify for both, as you can see. And they've got to be in this industry because they've got grey hair, no hair, 20, 30, 40 years, not 5 or 10. There's not enough experience. If you think most development projects take a couple of years, 5 or 10 years, maybe they've only seen 5 or 6 projects. That's not enough. 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 projects. That's what you want to see. Hundreds of projects. When you've got someone with 30, 40 years experience, they're going to see loads of projects. That person is going to take a share of the profit. You give them a small profit share out of the back end. They're not got a fee. They're not getting paid monthly. They're not getting paid weekly. They're just going to share some of the profits with you. And the thing is, when you find someone with the grey hair, no hair, at the age they're likely to be, they're probably quite keen to give back to the industry. So they're going to be happy to share their knowledge with you. And they're going to be there alongside you. Now just think about it. If you met someone who's perhaps a retired developer, maybe an architect who runs their own business, but they're not involved on a daily basis, and you said to them, would you like to get involved and be my non-exec advisor? What will I need? Well, you say, look, to be honest with you, I'm just going to want a meeting every couple of weeks. We'll have a coffee. I don't mind buying the coffee and a piece of cake. I'll phone call in between. That's pretty much it, really. Now, do you think they're going to be interested? Perhaps if you share 10, maybe 20% profit with them. They're going to be, aren't they? And that's well worth it for you because there's a number of things they're going to do. Think about it. If you met this non-exec advisor and you said to them, do you know any good architects? Well, having been in industry 30 or 40 years, do you think they will? What about good structural engineers? Absolutely. Do they know structural engineers that work with good architects? Do they know project managers? Or if you've got someone else recommended, do you think they could check them out? Of course they could. Their network is extensive. Their little black book, their phone book of contacts is going to be extensive. So they will know people. And the other thing then in terms of credibility is they offer some gravitas, some weight to you. Imagine your first design team meeting on your first development project. And imagine if you had someone like me sat there, a non-executive advisor, grey hair, no hair, alongside you with over 40 years experience, and you've just assembled your new design team. And they're all looking at you because you are the developer. You're the chief executive officer of this development, of this company. Yet you're brand new. So if you're not careful, they're going to think, hang on a minute, now you're starting to talk. Do you know what you're talking about? Well, it doesn't matter whether you do or you don't because you're an entrepreneur. You're starting a new business and you're going to start somewhere. But imagine if you've got, say me, a non-exec advisor sat alongside you who's in your camp, in your team. That is so important. Everyone then is going to take you far more seriously. So a non-executive advisor, point number 5, is absolutely key when you're trying to build your professional team. So if you're out there and you're trying to build a team of professionals, just remember, and most importantly, they're out there and they're looking for you. They are selling and you are buying. Hopefully you've enjoyed today's episode. Hopefully you've found that of interest. If you do, please like and subscribe. And if there's anything else that you'd like us to cover in any episode in the future, give us some comments below and we'll do our best. I'll see you in the next episode.